I'm going to very briefly, whilst out on my walk in Manchester, talk about a recent appeal decision I was happily successful in, where we secured planning permission for 50 dwellings in a site in Gotherington in Tewkesbury. I should say I'm walking around Manchester, and if you hear any rain in the background, it's because it's Manchester and that's its default setting. So the big thing to take from this appeal decision is the question of oversupply. Just to set some of the facts of the case, the appeal, the same site and for 50 dwellings was promoted and it lost that appeal 2 years ago. I wasn't involved in the previous loss, but we ran the appeal again 2 years later and we won. I wish I could say that's solely down to my involvement, but it wasn't. There was a number of material planning considerations that had changed. Most notably, that the 5-year supply position had changed. Because 2 years ago, Tewkesbury Borough Council had a 5-year supply. Now, they accepted that they did not. But one of the critical issues was the extent of the shortfall in housing supply. Because we said that their supply was 1.82 years, and they said it was 4.37. We were successful, but one of the key issues between us was the question of oversupply. By oversupply, what I mean by that is that in the last few years, Tewkesbury have over-delivered against their housing requirement. They were trying to argue, well, because they've oversupplied last year, that should be able to count for their onward supply, that they should be able to factor that into their supply going forward. And we said that's not the case, because a 5-year supply is based on 5 years of deliverable housing sites. And the word deliverable in the NPPF talks about sites that will be able to show completions within 5 years. So our argument was, well, if it needs to show completions within 5 years, clearly any site that has already delivered won't be able to show those completions. And that was our argument, and happily the inspector accepted that and found that the council have a supply of 1.82 years, and therefore that was one of the material considerations that led to the grant of planning permission. So the promotion was for L&Q Estates, and it was Barton Wilmore, Mark Sitch, Alistair Bird and Ben Connolly who were the witnesses. There we go, that's the end of my walk.